Hey guys, Paul Morrow here again doing a big news recap for Monday, 9 September. Here we go. First of all, the big story obviously is the murder of this poor innocent Irina from Ukraine who fled a bomb shelter to come to America for safety. She finds her American dream. She's moving in with her partner. She wants to go to school. She's working hard in a pizzeria, hasn't heard a fly, fled war, and this animal slashes her throat on the train. It's just inexcusable. This is not the society we want to be in. 14 arrests. The perp's mother asked for him to be committed. The defense attorney asked for him to be committed. The knucklehead judge that appears to have let him out is not even a lawyer, because if you search her name on the North Carolina Registry of Lawyers, she's not even on there. The cascade of failures, the moron of a mayor who issues a statement that's far more in sympathy with the perp than the poor victim. They just don't read the room. Enough is enough. Democrats, stop. There are people who have to be incarcerated for the sake of all of us. I think that at this point, that's where we are as a society. But let me tease out some aspects of it that are a bit less obvious, because I think what I just articulated is where almost all of the country is, unless, of course, you're Brian Stelter on CNN. The issue of the federal charge. Some moron in the media had the temerity to actually ask to the U.S. attorney during the press conference, is this political grandstanding? No. It's because the federal government doesn't trust the same system that let this guy out 14 times to actually slam dunk this case, even though it's on video. All right? They want to take it over, and they want to make sure that this animal never sees the light of day. And it does carry the death penalty, by the way, at the federal level. Alas, this guy is almost never going to be executed because he's got diagnosed schizophrenia. They're going to say he doesn't know. I'd be very surprised if it ever gets there, but you can lock him away for life so he never hurts somebody else. There's reporting that he said something about, I got that white girl and everything else. I don't know if that's true, but I want to tease out another. You may have a hate crime is the point, but let me tease out the rest of it here. The federal charge is because it was on a quote-unquote common carrier. It was on a train. That gives you federal jurisdiction. It's right in the statute, okay? And where I want to go with this is the following. Extend that. That would give Donald Trump the ability, the lever, to put the National Guard in a lot of areas that you could articulate a federal nexus, because they're common carriers. And some of them, it's easy. Like, for instance, in Philadelphia, there's the Sept system. The Sept system at some point apparently goes into Ohio. Sept is, I forget what it stands for. It's like the Southeast something or other, but it's their transportation system. It's their train system. In fact, things on that was so bad, they had to go around Krasner in Philadelphia. They put in a separate SEPTA prosecutor. There's a separate SEPTA prosecutor appointed by the governor. This is something Trump could and should do. Look around the country at the transit systems, because if you Google it, do a little AI research, you're going to get hundreds, not dozens, hundreds of transit crimes, most of them against women, on the transit system in blue cities. It's a disgrace. This is where Donald Trump could make a statement. The National Guard on those areas could really move the needle, and he's going to be on much firmer legal ground to have them there. Marshalize them so they can make arrests if need be, and put them on the transit systems in San Francisco. San Francisco has a rule that they won't release any crime scene video that happens on their transit system, because they're afraid it's going to cause racism. So in other words, yeah, it's happening, we admit it, but we just don't want you to see it so we can ignore it. This is just galactic level stupidity. And it's real ignorance, as in they're making people ignorant of what's really going on in order to pursue their agenda, they being the left. This has got to stop. So this is a lever that Donald Trump can pull. Lastly, the Ryan Ruth trial is going to start this week. I'm going to be down in Florida covering it, so look for me on Fox and there. I'll do some news recaps from down there. This is just going to be a show trial. He's guilty, but there are questions remaining about this guy, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist. And lastly, I hope you caught this week's podcast with Rich Staropoli, because this was, in my opinion, one of the most significant ones we've done, and I hope it gets around. The Secret Service remains broken. Donald Trump's still in danger. Paul Morrow for the Ops Desk.